I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us this morning on the official launch of the 5th Eldoret edition of the Eldoret City Marathon. We are happy to be back on the streets of this great city of champions for yet another opportunity to run with a new perspective and renowned champions. As you are all aware, the marathon has two races. Full marathon, 42 kilometers, 0.195 for both men and women. And we have 5 kilometers for our sponsors, VIPs, and the entire community of Eldoret to join us celebrate this marathon. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, supported by our sponsors, we are targeting to register about 10,000 runners. Registration will be done at www.eldoretcitymarathon.co.ke. Physical registration will be set up here in Eldoret, Iten, Kapsabet, and other Noreb counties. The registration fees is $1,500 for each race. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to confirm to you that winners of this year's full marathon competition will be rewarded with 3.5, both winners. But the total prize money will be 18 million and 30,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to register for this year's Eldoret City Marathon. Our chief guest, I will not sit down before I introduce my colleagues who are supporting me today in this conference. And I would like, with your permission, to call them up here so that you know this marathon, as our speaker had said, that retired athletes never retire. Please, Julius, Boyd, and Cristobal. These are special people. These athletes retired 30 years ago. I would like Chief Guest.
Even as I begin, I want to say thank you to our race director, Moses Tanui, together with all the board members, the chairperson, Andrew Chelogoi, of this particular marathon. Because when they told me about this marathon and the dream that they had, I said to them, how can we be a city of champions with no marathon? Surely, isn't it? Does that make sense? That we are the ones who are sending champions to Boston, to Chicago, to London, all over the world, Tokyo the other day, yet we don't have a marathon, an accredited marathon in Uasin Gishu County. So when he said it to me, I said, I will take a leap of faith. We are going to have this marathon. And even as we speak now, we don't have all the money, but we shall have it. I believe we shall get all of it. And he explained something that was very important. He said to me that there are some athletes who, in order to go to international races, require to run in an accredited marathon, one that is recognized by the World Athletics. And so this is an opportunity for our young people to be able to have a certification time and be able to enter. They cannot enter Boston until they have a best time. They cannot enter Chicago until they have a best time. How many of them will afford to go to the Nairobi Expressway Marathon? How many of them can afford to go to Nairobi to go to the Standard Marathon? So how is it that we don't have, we're not keeping up with this marathon? So yes, this is extremely important. It's an opportunity for all our young people to be able to start. And yes, thank you to those sponsors who have already taken, who have supported us. Huawei Kenya, we want to say thank you. Safaricom, thank you. Kenya Airports Authority, asante. Mozilla, and all the others, Rivertex, Pit Stop, Pipeline, Life Care, Top Hill, thank you for coming through for us. And I want to also say thank you to the retired athletes, all you champions who have made our country proud. I know that I arrived yesterday from London, Oxford actually. I was speaking at Oxford University, International Women's Day. And when I introduced myself, you know, people just said, oh, she's a deputy speaker, Kenya, da, da, da. Then I said, no, wait a minute. I am member of parliament for Uasin Gishu County, the city of champions, the source of champions, the home of champions. The whole room stood up. So you're the ones who give us fame. People would not know where I am from if it were not for you champions to put our country on the map and also to put our home on the map. People would never know who we were. So thank you very much for that. And I want to say this, that I'm hoping that I can convince people to sponsor an athlete, adopt an athlete. It's only 1,500 shillings. I was telling my colleagues in parliament that if each of you sponsored an athlete, that would be 300 of them minimum that would be sponsored to enter the race. Give those young people an opportunity. And there are many, and I want to ask each of you to visit our camps, the training camps where they go. Sometimes they don't even have shoes. You know, we are talking about shoes, eh? In the year 2024. I mean, that is wrong. And I was just explaining to my friend that sometimes I go and buy a whole bale of mitumba shoes just to give them away, for them to be able to have a shoe to run. So yes, we talk about our athletes when they have become great, but we are forgetting to talk about them when they are starting out. Let people know that the Benson Kipruto, the other day, the late, God bless his soul, the late Kelvin Kiptum, you only knew about him when he started breaking world records. But actually, people should know that he could barely have enough food to eat, that he could barely have a shoe, that he could barely be able to get a proper nutrition for him to be able to run. So let us nurture talent. Let us not just celebrate them. We should nurture them as they are growing. And actually, that is what the Ministry of Sports is supposed to do. If you read the executive order, it says they're supposed to be nurturing talent. You're not supposed to receive talent when it is made. And it's something that we are very excited about. And today, we launched the Eldoret City Marathon at a very good time in our history of Athletics Kenya. Because now, Athletics Kenya will be able to have fresh elections. And I'm hoping that all of you should be the ones who should be members of. You should be members of AK. You are the ones who should be the president of AK. You are the one who should be the vice president of AK. We cannot have a situation where people who have never run and never felt the pain of running go and manage athletics for us. And thank you to those who initiated the court action that has now made AK open for elections. And this time we want to say, first, I want to send a very stern warning to Athletics Kenya. Don't you dare appeal that case. Because you cannot stay in Athletics Kenya by force or by fire. And I think it's also important for people to know that there was something terribly wrong that was going on at Athletics Kenya. The vice president of Athletics Kenya is Gennaro Kibet, who's my friend. His law firm are the ones who are handling the case for to support Athletics Kenya. AAA advocates. The chairman of the sports tribunal is Tom Ohaga, who is also a partner in the law firm OO, and who is also the partner of the vice president, Gennaro Kibet. That is incest. Yeah, it must stop. So we must give athletics must be run by athletes. Retired athletes, we have enough of them. So we don't need any of all the others. And also, for overtime, we have not seen them being supportive of athletes because they were not athletes themselves. Because another person would know kuna watoto wako kwa kambi who are suffering. By the time we started having, when we have